Aaron Jones, ESPN Analytics, collision course, because ESPN Analytics projects Green Bay for just 7.4 wins, which will place them last in the division. Not common expectations that we are used to for the Packers after 30 years of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback. So, Key, do you think the Packers can surprise some people and potentially win more than 7.4 games?
Well, I mean, yeah, if that's called a surprise, then yes, I do. I look at it as, yes, they lose Aaron Rodgers, who's a Hall of Famer, but they still got pieces that are in place that played last year. They still got a defense that turned it up a little bit last year, late in the season. So I understand that the top quarterback that was there that took over from Brett Favre, who's walking into the Hall of Fame, is no longer there, and there's a young man named Jordan Love. And when you look at Jordan Love, you look at it and go, well, he's never played, he's never done that. But could it be such a thing as addition by subtraction? Yes, it can be, because you don't need to do all the things you did with Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes you overthink when you have powerful players like Aaron Rodgers. You get out of starting to do things. You're starting to be too fancy. Maybe simple is the better way to go. And maybe that helps them move into the next direction and get past those 7 wins that people think they're only going to get. That's just me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jeff thinks something different.
I think you're being really nice here, Key, and which is, that's not always like you. So I mean, that's really nice. I don't want to rain on the parade. But this all reminds me of the time right after Tom Brady left New England, and we were all talking about actually at that point, what was it, Cam Newton, but eventually Mac Jones, and how, he can replace him, no big deal. Maybe it's addition by subtraction. It's so hard to replace a legend. It's so much harder than simply plug and play and expecting the culture to stay the same, expecting the winning to stay the same. I don't look at this roster and think that they are better without Aaron Rodgers. And I also trust Aaron Rodgers' evaluation of the roster, because if he believed that this was a Super Bowl caliber roster, or, to be fair, even just a playoff caliber roster, I think he'd still be in Green Bay.
I suspect the truth kind of lies somewhere between playoff team and rebuild with the Packers. Most people, when they think of a rebuild, they think of a team that has very little chance of being competitive. And I don't think that's true of the Green Bay Packers. There's just too much talent on this roster. It's a defense that hasn't played up to that talent level, but I thought played better at the end of last year with tons of first-round draft picks. It's dominant offensive line, very good run game led by Aaron Jones, underrated skill group, and I think one of the better play callers in the NFL in Matt LaFleur. If Jordan Love plays in the top half of expectations, they will absolutely be in the mix for the NFC North. But I also don't think that's the main priority for the season. It's a possibility, but the priority is the development of the young quarterback. And that's what makes them different from the Vikings or the Lions, who absolutely have to get back to the playoffs. It would be nice for Green Bay if they did, but they're taking a longer view, with short-term competitiveness being, as Jones alludes to, a very realistic possibility.
Now, back to you, Jeff. So
I knew this was going to happen. See, this is ridiculous.
Here's what I would say.
This is a setup.
I understand the fascination with Aaron Rodgers being a great Hall of Famer, and they're not going to be better. Of course they would be better with Aaron Rodgers, and of course you trust Aaron Rodgers' judgment of the talent. This team didn't go to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. My whole point is, when coaches coach, sometimes they do more. Sometimes they do a little bit more because they think they have something in a certain player. When they realize that they don't need to do that, things change for the better. This defense is still intact. They still got Aaron Jones. They got 2 young receivers that are studs that are going into their second year, not their first year. And I understand, we don't know a whole lot about Jordan Love, but the throws that I did see him make when he did start, I didn't walk away going, oh my God, he can't play in the National Football League. No, Jeff. Or Dan, should I call you?
I got it. See, what happened there, what happened there was this was a setup. This was Key saying his crazy stuff. baiting me into saying something crazier and then allowing Mina stepping in to be the rational voice. Okay? If I could have gone third, I would have been the rational voice. But in this case, I had to be the one to go after Key, and that baits us into saying crazy things.
Well, Mina said they had a great roster, so now you're attacking me when Mina backed me up by saying the roster was a good roster.
I think we have a 2-on-1 situation right here. Jeff, you get the final word here. Defend yourself, because you're 1-on-2 right now.
I have no defense. Mina's right. It's somewhere in between. It truly is. They'll probably be an 8-8 team. Is that what Key thinks is a great squad?
What a cold.
I'm glad he changed his tune.
They're not even
so
8-8.
glad.
They're 17 games
well,
now.
Come on, 7.4 is the projection. They'll be between like 8 and 9. Come on, that just feels way too rational. This show, what has happened to us? Just speaking logically, coherently.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.